Yeah, there's this new meta. I think I showed you this because I saw it on Twitter, where like a bunch of these like centrist, quote unquote, liberal content creators are now genuinely entertaining the idea that they would rather vote for Donald Trump than me, and how I'm a more dangerous force for politics than Donald fucking Trump, which is so crazy. It's like, why is this political discourse for you guys? Like, you should never have this conversation. This should not be a point of contention for you. Okay? What is this? The Piker principle. When discourse or drama or problematic events take a place online, it's always Hasan Piker's fault. Yeah. But seriously, how can you behave like you're a serious adult and then endlessly pontificate on who would be a bigger danger to America?
The like length of that red line.
Who would be a danger to America, me or Donald Trump?
The length of that red line is terrifying to me because it suggests to me that what that clip is like part of like a
much longer conversation. Yeah.
Like, oh man.
That to me, like, I don't know about you guys, but I would entertain an argument that Trump would probably be better than Hasan. Like, I would be willing to entertain that argument.
Dude, I'm a Twitch streamer, okay? Like, I have no ambitions. I have no ambitions of higher office. But let's say in this hypothetical that you've created, I'm running for office. You think someone who wants free healthcare for everybody, free college for everybody, no more wars, like, this person is further away from your espoused ideology than Donald Trump. Like, you're trying to say that I would be a bigger ever-present danger to American future than Donald Trump. It doesn't even, the hypothetical in and of itself doesn't make sense. It's like you're entertaining something that is so unimaginably stupid, right? Like a Twitch streamer running for president, but you're doing it with sincerity. It's like no different than thinking like, what if PewDiePie was the president of the world? Like,
I mean, there's also the piece of it though where it's like okay, so you're saying that like you look at like Donald Trump and you think of like, well, you know what that guy's brought to the table here that like Hasan just doesn't have aside from the ideology stuff? Experience and competence.
Yeah. That's their. That some of the people that want to maintain their like serious posture as a political commentator have been saying like, well, I think I'd take Hasan over Trump because at least he's too incompetent to like go about his agenda. Like, it's a way to try and tackle the dangers of my ideology.
I'm gonna be honest. I like did not. I maybe I haven't muted. I don't know, but like
I would vote for the guy who supported January 6th versus the guy who supported October 7th.
How long has he had that avatar?
I don't know. You've morphed into you've morphed into a fundamentally different type of question then. If you're simply asking who I would vote for if the election were tomorrow and the rest of the political system / country would remain the exact same, then I'd vote for Hasan because he's too stupid and his ideas are too radical to get anything done in this country. But that's like asking if I'd vote for Trump versus Hitler. I'd heavily consider voting for Hitler over Trump. Because despite how bad Trump is, I think Hitler's name alone would scare off the majority of Republicans from working with him. But that's kind of a meaningless statement. It misses the central point of this question. What is this conversation taking place?
I'm gonna be honest. I'd heavily consider voting for Hitler over Trump as one of those sentences that like
No, but he would vote for Trump over me though.
Yeah, but
so I'm worse than Adolf Hitler.
What? But he's also saying he would vote for you because like what he's saying is that he would, in the situation where he would vote for you is also a situation where he'd vote for Hitler, which I'm also not like I don't know, man. There's like real stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Well, they can't talk about that because their position of like defending offering unlimited support to Israel is now roundly considered like disgusting by average people, including their own fan bases, because everyone and their goddamn mothers recognizes the genocide for what it is. So now they have to entertain other stuff like, oh, the guy who I've presented myself as like a major enemy, that guy is actually worse than Adolf Hitler. And yeah, I mean, I guess where it was the original tweet is Michael from Pennsylvania made a statement is the reason why they have to act like Hasan or myself are dangerous is because they have been defending the genocide for 2 years and the weight of that guilt is so heavy for Hush that he needs some way for his ego to recover. Destiny has said he doesn't feel guilt or remorse.
Probably be better than Hasan. Like, I'd be willing to entertain that argument.
Strategic vape hit.
Yeah, strategic.
That's like the chocolate rain, like Zete Zonde. Like I step away from the mic to breathe. Like I hit the vape to consider what I should say.
No,
next.
no. He's reading the chat. That's what he's doing. He's hitting the vape to read the chat to see like, did this work?
Yeah, like
did this idiotic take actually work within my audience?
But again, just to kind of tie it back to, like, I think Erudite is right to
exactly, Hutch. Trump is good. Hasan is a bad guy.
Where on the tech tree is Gulag?
I think she's right to set the parameters, you know.
This hypothetical punches at a core question within the left. If we assume Hasan will be politically ineffective, obviously Hasan, but that's because the ineffective modification of the hypothetical. In a question between an effective Hasan and an effective Kirk.
Bro, what are these thought experiments? Who gives a who cares?
People who
cares?
People who have too much time on their hands, who literally the reason why I brought this up is because like these are people that unironically see politics as content. They see politics, their only understanding of the political worldview, their only understanding of political mobilization revolves around like content creators who don't have any sort of discernible moral compass, any sort of real worldview, any sort of real ideology that roots their framework. They're just simply latching on issue by issue and taking a side, taking a stance, only so they can just like have something to debate over. And it's just drama. And that's precisely the reason why this is the shit they're entertaining. Okay, that's what. And there are, guess what? A lot of people who fancy themselves to be interested in politics online, they do care about this. This is their only way to make politics interesting.
It's like I just have like a hard time imagining that like if I'm that guy with like the glistening dome and I'm like, you know, I'm having my coffee, I'm hitting my vape, I'm talking about the day, that what I would want to spend time, because like it's one thing to like when somebody says this about you and then like looking at it or whatever, but to like originally generate a conversation that gets to, well, who would you support? Godzilla or Mothra as the Republican nominee? Like more or less that's the level it's on. Like I start to think about like my brain goes in a different place. I start to think about other things. Like I think about like recent meals I've had that are really good. Or like,
you could talk about any number of different things that would be infinitely more productive than whatever the fuck going on here. That's why I always say like people. This is how I feel about like QAnon people, where I'm like, why do you invest so much time into this? Like you could just get into like D&D or like World of Warcraft or something, and that would be more productive. That would be a more productive and more entertaining use of your time than to believe that there is like this deep state pedophilic conspiracy that's going on.
This gets to something like these are like debate perverts, internet fine. Their buttons are pushed in a certain way, but like the QAnon people, right? Like part of what about that specific like mythos that speaks to them is that it, you know, touches on, you know, when you think of like what are the emotional beats of residing in the mental space of QAnon world, not the specific facts, but like the general subjects and emotional moments that you hit, you know, the emotional like charges that they hit. It's about stuff like child, you know, pedophilia, political
ethical
corruption.
CP is Destiny's Discord server is full of enthusiastic discussion of ethical CP. Destiny had an entire ethical CP arc, Lamau. How can you debate the ethics of CP? I guess I'm starting the debate, and I have no interest to, but how can that be argued, lol? I want to debate ethical CP. Destiny has a long history of defending ethical CP. It goes back to like 6 years at this point, and it was last brought up 2 years ago again by Brittany Venti, who loses every single one of her brain cells when she thinks about the subject. No, they're not talking about cyberpunk chatters. They're talking about
You know what the scariest part of this image is? 1, 2, 3, ellipsis, 33 on the bottom right.
Oh yeah, there's 33 pages of people discussing ethical child porn is what it is. Yeah.
So they're not really just debate perverts. They're just perverts.
Well, that's usually how it happens. You go from pervertry to debate pervertry. I think it's like a way to try and like have a discussion about like whatever kind of freakish things you believe in. I don't know. I just don't understand it. It's like one of those things where immediately I'm like, gross. I don't touch that at all. Get the out of here.
Like unconstrained Hasan versus.
We've already survived 4 years of Trump. I'm not convinced we survived 4 years in a Hasan-styled regime. This is just Trump at least has some vague notion of supporting America, however misguided it is. If he destroys the country, it would be a byproduct of his stupidity and narcissism. With Hasan, it would be ideological by design. He supports foreign terrorist groups, despises U.S. allies, supports historical revisionism to paint U.S. adversaries in a better light, has admitted that he would ban opposing political parties in the United States and would lock his enemies forever in re-education camps if they didn't agree with his political ideology. As an ML, he would support the creation of a single vanguard party to violently enforce all these changes. This is just what we know of Hasan's views publicly. We also know that he stated he shows that he hides his true beliefs, so he funneled people further down the radicalization pipeline. We already survived 4 years of Trump. I'm not convinced we've survived 4 years in a Hasan-styled regime.
This was a Saturday, dude. Like, he could have been doing, like, you know, like, because right, like, even when you're a podcaster or a streamer, like, weekdays, you know, even if they're not like such a big deal for you, how different it is from the weekend, you know, most other people, they have jobs and, you know, normal things. So like weekends are where you see and get to, you know, spend time with other people. And, you know, like on a Saturday, he like wrote a chapter of a book about this.
I want to destroy America by reorienting our economy to focus more on improving the material conditions of every single person. This is the true death and destruction for America.
Also, I mean, like, there's also like Hasan's, like, you know, there's the Takia thing.
Yeah. I'm doing.
He's like, we also know Hasan's very well developed thoughts about like creating a vanguard party out of purifying the federal service.
Yeah.
With a, you know, I mean, just like, what the are you talking about, bro?
I think this is
step away from this is step away from the computer territory.
Under normal circumstances, like if someone was saying this, you'd be like, oh, that's like a person that is in dire need of like medical assistance. Okay.
I think it's also kind of funny.
This person is like definitely having a really bad mental health episode. But
or at
on
least
the
just
internet,
suffering from like extreme boredom when he has like literally every possible like avenue for material and spiritual satisfaction available to him.
Yeah. But this is a political discourse. This is a peak of political discourse for some many who consider this to be like a brilliant take. You know how like amongst the right, cancel culture and cancellations became a worse term than even murder itself, which is when Marjorie Taylor Greene came out on television and said abortion is cancel culture because you're canceling the baby. Do you remember that? That was a moment where I was like, oh, like this person is so far gone in political discourse that like she's literally saying abortion is an extension of cancel culture when abortion is supposed to be murder, right? Like you're supposed to say abortion is murder, but now you're saying it's cancel culture, is an extension of cancel culture. The reason why you're saying that is because you have seen cancel and cancel culture, cancellations as a substitute term that is more significant than murder. That's why you're using it.
I guess it's also like, it's that like cancel culture is this, like part of what our cancel culture actually gets at though, right? Is not just about, it's not like cancellation, the act there per se. It's like why the cancellation happens, which is the fact that like you're on the losing side of a general culture war.
Yeah. But my point is, for these guys, I'm worse than like, they're saying, I'm worse than like actually tackling a political ideology that they find to be scary. Like they don't want to say like socialized medicine is terrifying. They don't want to say like socialism is a terrifying ideology. Like in the past, you know, their counterparts would have done, right? Mm-hmm. They don't want to take like, they don't take the William F. Buckley position, but instead they just like posture against a figure that they have designed as like this great evil. And in a handful of people, like a select few people online, that actually does invoke response. Like people do actually hear that and go, yeah, you're right. He is a scary person. Like, and all of his ideologies are scary. And it's perfectly fine to just like, to develop a worldview that is entirely designed around being afraid of this one content creator and whatever he believes is good. I believe that is bad.
Is constrained Hasan, these are two different outcomes, right? But unconstrained Hasan versus unconstrained Trump, actually, I don't even No, I think Trump would be worse. Hang on a second.
Wow, I'm glad that he's working himself to a position where like if right-wing fascist piece of shit that's doing mass deportations of migrants while simultaneously destroying the global trade design that America actually invented that is greatly beneficial for America in general, while also simultaneously allowing the Israeli genocide to continue. That guy might be a little bit worse than a Wishermer that believes in, being steadfast in his approach to anti-war and wants the American government to
Hasan,
fucking
can you
better
even be
serve.
the president?
I could, yes. I was born here.
No, you're not unk enough yet.
That's true. But
that's what I was getting at. I wasn't talking about geography.
Well,
I was
I'm
talking
34.
about
I got one more year. I got one more year.
Conversation's moot anyway.
Yeah.
Wait a year. Yeah, that's my message to these perverts in general. Wait a year.
Yeah.
I think it's really this is what Northern Lion does now.
Dude, come on. Don't come after my goat like that. Northern Lion would never.
He would never. He's great.
This man is tarnishing the Hasan is worse. This whole discourse is making me want to kill myself.
A conscious robot, we agree on that.
I like that his mods constantly on him. You suck right now. That's what one of his mods said.
Pick your poison.
Like Hutch, we'd be in camps. Hutch, we'd be in camps under Hasan. This is such a dumb hypothetical.
Pick your poison.
Yeah, there's people are already sending. He's literally already sending people.
Yeah, that's right. I would be sending Hutch to the camps, I guess. Right-wing personality latching onto identity as a target rather than ideology is such a good point. Zizek would like that. Yeah, man, that's it. I am a far more interesting target than to actually like discuss the issues on the boundaries of policy, on the boundaries of impact of policy, on what it would look like if you were to play out a legislative agenda that like puts workers first in general and not like capital owners. That's it. They can't have that conversation and also maintain charitability in a broader audience. And they don't even do a good enough job developing a large enough audience while also being hyper obsessed with like drama and so that part doesn't even work. But they're fearful that they would be even less popular if they just like only talked about the issues. Okay.